All right, beautiful. We streamed yesterday? I don't think we streamed yesterday, but we have been here Friday, and now we're here today on Sunday. We normally don't stream on these days, but I don't know, man. I'm here. I'm here. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Today we're going to be talking about you can do anything, just don't try to solve it. One of those streams where we try to make it as simple as possible. One of those streams where we cut straight to the chase and we say, hey, if you're confusing yourself out there, if you're just running around in a bunch of mental circles not knowing what to do, well then this is the stream for you. If you continue to try to solve this thing, if you continue to try to ruminate on recovery, ruminate on healing, what it is you're supposed to be doing, if the two keys themselves are not simple enough for you, right? Stop fighting thoughts and feelings mentally, live your life. If that's not simple enough for you, we're going to try to make it even more simple today if we possibly can. So that is that is the goal of today's stream. What's up, guys? What's up, Upgrade? Upgrade Gamer, Ivan, Kate, hello. Dominique, Steph, hello. I forgot to send out a Discord notification. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. I know the bot does it for me, but... All right. All right. JB, what's up? Hey, Wonder Bro, hope you're good. Anxiety is mainly gone, but the muscle tension is still there, and accepting it isn't working really. Then you should fight against it, right? If accepting the muscle tension is not working, you should get really upset and start throwing things, and you should try to punch holes through the drywall. That is our next option. It might solve the muscle tension. Right, it might. I'm not sure. Of course, I'm just messing with you. You're doing great, JB. You're doing absolutely fantastic. If you're saying anxiety is mainly gone and all you've got is some lingering muscle tension, that is the least of your worries. That is absolutely the least of your worries. That is not something you need to be concerned about. I would just say, hey, I am grateful for the fact that I've come this far, and if I've got a little bit of lingering muscle tension, so be it. That would be my attitude in your situation. Be proud of how far you've come, right? Be grateful and proud and pat yourself on the back, and don't worry about some lingering muscle tension. I know it might be frustrating. I get that. I know it might be annoying, but there is no sense in doing anything other than accepting the reality. It is totally futile to go against what is already there. To go against what is already there is like shaking a stick at the fact that it is that the sun is in the sky and wishing that that would change, right? Let's see. What is up, Meat? She gone. What's up, Crystal? What's up, Lauren? Jennifer, what's up? Before 10 seconds, I was thinking it's going to be awesome if we have a stream, and there it is. Hey, there you go, Ivan. Hey, thanks a lot for your advice. Really appreciate it. You're the best, honestly. I'm glad you got my sarcasm and my humor there. If you're telling me that you've used acceptance up until this point and you're doing really well with it and you're feeling pretty good, then I figured you would get the sarcasm there. So I'm glad you did, JB. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you for watching. All right, guys. Let's get into the point of this stream. We've got plenty enough people in here to go ahead and get started. So again, this stream is for anyone out there really who even believes that the two main keys are not simple enough for them. The two main keys, what are they? Right? Stop fighting with your thoughts and feelings mentally, and you'll live your life. If you're at the point in your recovery where even that is just too much for you to digest, we are going to put it even more simply today. That is the goal of this stream. Even more simply today, which is do whatever you want. Just don't try to solve it. Let's get this music out of here. There we go. So, two keys. Stop mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings and live your life. If you sit there and ruminate on what that means, if you sit there and try to figure that out, I don't know what that means. Am I doing it quote unquote right? Blah, blah, blah. If that is you, okay, then we're going to put it an entirely different way today. We are going to say, do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't try to solve it. Right? And that is the end of the stream. That is the point of the stream. We're done. This is going to be the shortest stream you've ever seen in your life. That is it. Just don't try to solve it. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Get up. Do whatever you want, right? Just don't try to solve your thoughts. Don't try to solve your feelings. Do absolutely nothing mentally to try to solve, figure out, or make sense of your anxious thoughts and feelings. And that's it. That's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. This stream is the point of this stream is to be as simple and straightforward as possible because too many people are ruminating on what the two keys are. Too many people are ruminating on how you use the 2 keys. Too many people are ruminating, which is the problem. The core problem of all anxiety is rumination. So that is the point of the stream. Do whatever the hell you want. Just stop trying to solve it. Stop trying to make sense of your thoughts. Stop trying to make sense of your anxious symptoms. Stop trying to set your thoughts straight. Stop trying to set your feelings straight. When a thought comes in, don't try to solve it. Just say, okay. And that's it. That's the end of the conversation. When a feeling comes in, just say, okay. Don't try to solve it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to, get off all of the forms that you're on and the Google. Do whatever the hell you want. But you got to understand that the main problem is rumination and worry. You got to understand the more you try to figure out this thing, the further you're going to get from figuring it out. You got to understand the more you try to figure out your thoughts, the stronger they're going to become and the more they're going to keep coming in. You got to understand the more you try to solve your feelings, the more you are ruminating and worrying, which is going to lead to more of those feelings. So if the 2 keys is not simple enough and straightforward enough, and I'm not saying easy because I know it's not necessarily easy to break bad habits, but what I'm saying is if it's not simple enough to be told, stop mentally, practice no longer mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings and live your life. If that's not simple enough to digest, then we're going to word it like this today. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just stop trying to figure out your thoughts and feelings. Stop trying to solve your thoughts and feelings. No more of that. If you cut that out, we're good. Right? If you stop trying to figure out your thoughts and feelings and allow them to be and stop trying to solve them, you don't try to figure out what the thoughts mean, you don't try to figure out what the feelings mean, you don't try to figure out a way to escape the thoughts and feelings, you don't try to solve whatever the thought is predicting or saying, you don't follow the thoughts and you don't go down a rabbit hole of trying to solve the feelings. If you stop trying to solve your thoughts and feelings, you can do whatever the hell you want. Right? Live your life. I don't care what you do. I really don't care what you do as long as you're doing something. Just get up and live your life. So that looks drastically different from person to person, right? I don't know what your hobbies are. I don't know what you're into, but do whatever you want to do, right? As far as living your life is concerned, as long as it has nothing to do with trying to solve the thoughts and feelings. So that means if I say do whatever you want to do, but you have to stop trying to solve the thoughts and feelings, that doesn't mean that you can say, okay, do whatever I want to do, and then go and Google for 6 hours, because that's still trying to solve the thoughts and feelings. If I say do whatever you want to do, but stop trying to solve the thoughts and feelings, that doesn't mean get online on the forums or have conversations about your anxiety 24 hours a day, right? It's understandable to learn. It's understandable to spend some time talking about your anxiety maybe for very small amounts of time, right? But when I say do whatever you want to do, just don't try to solve the thoughts and feelings, that means you also can't do things that directly tie back into trying to solve the thoughts and feelings, right? We are completely leaving those alone. To try to solve is to ruminate. To try to solve is to worry. To try to solve is to fight. And that's really it. That's all I've got for this one. I don't want to drag this one on. We're not even at 10 minutes, and we're done because, again, this is a stream that is aimed at, okay, if you can't stop overthinking the 2 keys, if you can't stop ruminating on the 2 keys, if you can't stop ruminating on what recovery is, then there you go. I'll put it to you that way. You can do whatever the hell you want. Just stop trying to solve the thoughts and stop trying to solve the feelings. And what is solving? Solving is any sort of worry, rumination, fighting, arguing, debating, giving power to, right? So really, that is all I've got. That's all I've got for this one. We're done with the point of the stream. We're going to hang out with chat. We're going to read some chat. I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. But yeah, that's it. We're going to get our music back, and we're going to head right into post-stream. So if you were expecting an hour-long stream on this topic, well, that wouldn't make much sense, right? That wouldn't make much sense for the topic of the stream to be do whatever you want, just stop trying to solve, and then we talk about it for an hour. Let's just get straight to the point, because that in itself is the problem. There's too much trying to figure out what this all means. There's too much trying to solve what this all means. There's too much thought that's being put into this. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? What if I'm doing this wrong? What if you're still trying to solve something? Do whatever the hell you want to stop trying to solve things, right? Right? So solving is basically just a umbrella term that means worry, rumination, fighting, arguing, any sort of mental activity where you are in disagreement and fighting against or trying to solve your thoughts and feelings. And that includes trying to solve, right? That includes trying to solve what recovery is all about. So that's it. Now, if you've got any questions, man, we're going to read some questions. We're going to do our little Q&A like we always do. Who do we still got in here? We got Gamer, we got DC, we got Crystal. What's up, guys? We got Maddie. What I'm scared of currently is I don't remember my old self. I'm scared I'll never be that person again because my anxiety is dissipating, but I have no passion for any of the old thing I used to. Don't try to solve that, right? Because then what happens is you get into this big mental rumination about what is my old self and will I ever feel that again? And by the end of the day, your nerves have taken a hit, taken too many hits, right? And it's hits that we really can't afford. So don't try to solve that. But what I will say about that, right, is you're scared because you don't really remember who your old self is. The only way you can get back to your old self in time is by not trying to get back to your old self, by trying to ruminate your way there. So if you really want to get back to your old self in time, you stop trying to get back to your old self by trying to figure out and solve mentally how to get back there, because all of that mentally trying to solve and figure out how to get back there is the problem that is keeping your nerves from being able to relax, right? So everything that deals with this is ironic. Everything that deals with this is very ironic. The more you try to figure it out, the more you're getting further and further away from your objective. You're getting further and further away from your objective. Let's see. What's up, Elliot? Appreciate that, gamer. How you doing today, DC? My problem is that when I allow and accept my symptoms, they come back in different emotions and thoughts, so I have to adapt to it again and accept and allow. Well, that's the good news of this stream, is that this applies to everything, right? This applies to everything. So it doesn't really matter what form the symptoms take or what form the thoughts take. It's do nothing and try to solve nothing and do whatever you want at that point, right? So, again, we could go like into a ton of depth with that, but there's really no need to. If you're at the point where you can't stop trying to solve and figure out, there's no need for us to go into depth with what to do. In fact, we need to make it as shallow and straightforward as possible. We need to make it as shallow and straightforward as possible. Anxiety will change and morph as you heal. Take it as a sign that you're moving in the right direction with healing. I love it, DC. I love it. Yeah, the mind will try to latch on to different things. The body will throw you different symptoms. Again, the title of this stream applies to all of the above. So what happens is, maybe the symptoms change up a bit, and then you try to solve why that's happening. You've already made the mistake, right? Or the thoughts change up. You try to solve why that's happening. You've already made the mistake. Or maybe you've been doing pretty well with no longer trying to solve your thoughts and feelings, but you start thinking about recovery. Why am I not recovered yet? Why am I not perfect yet? Why am I not completely healed yet? Well, then you've already made the mistake, right? So the point is, anytime you log in to try to solve the thoughts and feelings, you've already made the mistake, and that's okay, because you can catch that mistake and not let it turn into a bigger mistake. It's okay to make the mistakes, right? But the point is, catch that as quickly as possible and don't let it turn into a big deal, right? Don't let it turn into a repeating thing. We never want to try to solve your thoughts and your feelings with a bunch of rumination. No matter what the subject is, no matter what the topic is, you can't afford to do that. You can afford to make mistakes, but you can't afford to stay there, right? Would you recommend a sensitized person face their specific fears or wait until not sensitized? So many fears I want to face, but I'm still so sensitized. Facing those fears won't do you any good if you don't have the core skills. So that's what I'll say about that. Like, for example, if you're doing exposures, but the whole time you are trying to solve your thoughts and feelings, you are fighting with your thoughts and feelings and trying to get to the bottom of it, argue with them, your exposure's not paying off. It's not doing any good, because while you're doing that exposure, yeah, sure, you're doing the physical behaviors, but you are telling your brain the whole time by trying to solve your thoughts and feelings that there is a problem. So it's like one foot in the door, right back out again. You're not really going to get any benefits at all from your exposures that way. So I would say don't do specific exposures until you've got the skills to do them, because then you're just kind of wasting your time. So if we go into these exposures with acceptance and you are no longer worrying and ruminating during your exposures, trying to solve your thoughts and feelings that are there during your exposures, then great, you're going to get benefits from doing that exposure. But if you go into these exposures without the core skills, which means you're worried the entire time and you're fighting with every thought, fighting with every feeling, this all, happens mentally, then we're not getting any benefits from the exposures. Your brain's not really learning anything at all. So you're wasting your time, right? Right, I have the skills. It's Joseph here, your client. Got you. Okay, mind body. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, Die Hard Patriot must be a new member here. So no, yeah, if you've got the skills, If you've got the skills to carry into exposures, that's what we care about. If you don't have the skills, hold off until you learn the skills, because then your exposures aren't doing anything anyway. Let's see. Went to a Monster Jam, SoFi Stadium last night, and had my symptoms with me the whole time, but still had a great time. Feeling it today from walking like 10 miles and a couple beers, but it was worth it. I love it, Elliot. I love it. Hey, it all comes back to having the skills, right? And again, this entire stream was to tell people, hey, if the two main keys are too hard for you to digest, if you're in a place right now where you can't even wrap your mind around the two main keys, then we'll just put it to you like this. Do whatever you want. Just stop trying to do anything that involves solving your thoughts and feelings. Right, so this was just my attempt to try to reframe the two keys in an even simpler, an even simpler way to understand, hopefully. So, just my attempt at doing that. This is just my attempt at doing that. Wonder Bro, what about feeling great for moments and coming back to old habits? If by old habits you mean thoughts and feelings returning, that is not habits. That is something out of your control. If by old habits you mean that you are now trying to fight with those thoughts and feelings returning, that is old habits, and we need to break that, right? Do we feel empty and emotionless because our bodies are so used to anxiety and now there's nothing to focus on because we have accepted the symptoms and no longer care? So we are emotionless. There's an adjustment period. There's actually a withdrawal that comes from healing from anxiety. You got to think you have pressed and basically kept your body at an extreme high for a very, very long time, and now all of a sudden you have accepted that. You're not gassing the fire anymore because you're no longer trying to solve your thoughts and feelings. You have let it burn, and now your body is coming down from an extreme high that it probably had for weeks, months, and years on end, and now all of a sudden that is crashing down. You're going from 100 to 0 real quick, and that is why you feel emotionally exhausted. It is a very normal part of the journey. I hope that helps upgrade. Let's see, because I know you said you're doing the work, so that would be why that is the case for you. Monster Jam is dope. I don't think I've heard of it. Last time I went to one, I was 15. Need to take my kids to one. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it. Let's see. Did you say it was a concert? I don't know. I highly recommend the one-on-ones with Wonder Bros. Fantastic. The one-on-one time with him has helped me immensely. Appreciate that, dude. Yeah, if you're interested in that, guys, just reach out to me. Yes, sir. You guys are awesome. So glad I found y'all. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. All right, guys, give me just a second. Keep asking your questions, man. Keep asking your questions. I'll be right back. All right. Crystal, thank you for dropping that link. I really appreciate it. Let's make sure my mic is working. I don't trust it. Yeah, it is. Okay. Take my symptoms everywhere with me. It's not going to stop me from doing things anymore. I love it. That is the winning formula. When thoughts feel real and you have to take that 30-second gap to review or renewed. They just thoughts and you move on. Is that rumination? I think that's review. 30-second gap to review. Well, you have to take a step back, right? You do have to take a step back if you're feeling overwhelmed by thoughts, but that is long enough to remind yourself that you don't need to solve them, right? So the accepting inner voice or the non-engagement inner voice, when you're tempted to want to solve the thoughts and feelings, you have to remind yourself that that's exactly what you're not going to do, right? You have to kind of stop yourself from going down that route, because you go down that route, you'll get, you spin into this sort of tailspin of the rabbit hole, and now you're trying to solve everything. So this stream was really aimed at anybody who's still overthinking it, right? This stream was aimed at anybody who is still just trying to do everything in their power to figure out these thoughts and feelings, and that is just not the way to go. You could do, again, the title of the stream, you can do whatever you want. Just stop trying to solve those thoughts and feelings. Luis, no, that's not rumination. It's gray habit. Rumination has to be repetitive. Would last longer than 20 seconds. It's happening. Wonderbro, I can feel the healing coming. Anxiety is feeling more distant each day. Won't say how long, though. But you are spot on. Face it, accept it, and it will get better. Rich, that is awesome, dude. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for dropping that positive comment. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, man, that's what it comes down to. It's what it comes down to. And the main point behind this stream was that I still see people who are now not ruminating so much over, let's say, their anxiety anymore, or maybe they are, but the point is of this stream that there's still a lot of people ruminating and worrying and trying to solve recovery itself, which is still rumination, and it's still trying to solve, and it doesn't matter to your brain what you're ruminating about. It's still hurtful for your nervous system. So that was really the motivator behind this stream, was to say, look, if the 2 keys are not simple enough for you, right, then just do whatever the hell you want. Just stop trying to solve the thoughts and feelings, right? So this was just my attempt to make the already simple advice, I didn't say easy, I said simple, the already simple advice even that much more simple, right? Because it is ironic. Some people can take their worry and their rumination and just aim that towards recovery now. So now they're ruminating and worrying about recovery itself, and it's like, what can we say? What can we do to try to put it as simply as possible? So that was really the motivation behind this random Sunday stream. I ruminate over how Samsung is better than Apple. Yes. I disagree. Got into the Discord. Thanks, guys. No problem, Jay. Thank you again, Crystal, for dropping that link. PC stuff. We're going to get that figured out eventually, Kate. We're going to get that figured out eventually. I think it's just the BIOS upgrade that you need. Really, really do. Because we have, tested every other possibility at this point. It's still obsession. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're sitting there obsessed about what recovery is or what you're supposed to do, that is still technically obsession. And the brain does not care if it is about what you're supposed to do during recovery, or if it's about your symptoms or your intrusive what if thoughts. Your brain really does not care, or it does not, there's no difference to the brain. If you're obsessed about something, you're obsessed about something, which is worry. So if you're worried about something, you're worried about something. This is not good for the nervous system. Obviously, this is what got you here to begin with. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Dominique. It's still obsession. Obsession is obsession. Worry is worry, regardless of what the topic is. So eventually it needs to get to the point where you're just firm in your understanding that, hey, look, there's nothing to obsess about. It's just I need to stop trying to solve these thoughts and feelings. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, live my life, and stop trying to solve these thoughts and these feelings. Anything outside of that, any prolonged obsession outside of that, is still too much. And again, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm also, excuse me, not saying that you can't reach out for support or whatever, or ask questions, all that good stuff, but we do need to make a pretty big cut back on how much is going on with trying to solve everything. Not ruminating feels so risky. My brain gets nervous. It may feel very risky and uncomfortable, but the fact remains that rumination is absolutely frying your nervous system, and we can't get around that. There's no way to get around that fact, right? It's just true. Well, she can boot just fine, but she can't boot from the USB drive, so I'm thinking it's a BIOS upgrade. Hi from Australia, guys. What's up, Robbie? This is a dumb one, I know. How do I get back to working a job? Before anxiety was very successful and torn everything away from me. I want to get back out and get a job. I have a baby on the way. Tips, yeah, just like Steph said. First of all, congratulations. Secondly, everything that you just took in from this stream, everything that we talked about, not ruminating on thoughts and feelings and not trying to solve, that's what's going to heal your nervous system. So learn the core skills here, which is, of course, continue to live and stop trying to solve your thoughts and feelings. Practice and learn those core skills here, and that's what's going to get you back out into doing even more things as time goes on and those nerves start to get a bit more solid. So it all really comes back to learning the core skills. So you're already doing the thing you need to be doing, right, which is learning about this stuff. Suddenly find something or responds to thought, then goes, yeah, there is the danger. I know there was something, and it gives me a dump of panic. Try to stay grounded, but it feels very convincing in the moment. It's supposed to feel convincing, right? It's supposed to feel convincing. That's its job. But your job, again, is to stay out of that, trying to solve that, because that would just lead you into a absolute tailspin of tired nerves and rabbit holes, and you'll exit out of that situation feeling way worse than if you wouldn't have ruminated so much and so frequently, which is sort of the irony there. This chat group is so awesome. The feeling of community here has been like a lifeline for me. Rich, we love you, dude. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Rich. I appreciate you. It's just about unlearning the obsession habit and living as you did before. I love it, Dom. I love it. The good news is that kids take you out of your head. My kids cause stress, of course, but they've been so good for healing. Yes. Yes, congrats. I sometimes get the worry of things going well for too long will get me back to the old anxious cycle, but I let it pass. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what form these thoughts take. Stilettos, what's up? Oh my God, man, my day was straight down a rabbit hole. Well, at least you've realized it, right? At least you've realized it at this point, and we can start working on it. You're not going to be perfect. I say that pretty much every stream I do. I make it a point to say you're not going to be perfect, guys, right? You're not going to be perfect, but we do need to cut back on the amount of time you spend trying to solve the thoughts and feelings, right? Just got notification, so I missed it. I don't know why sometimes people get the notifications late. That sucks. I'm sorry, Trish. Well, hello. Better late than never, right? See what's crazy. I've always wanted a baby, but anxiety has torn my happiness away, and I can't feel happy about it. She's due in August. I'm trying to get better before she is here. So, okay, well, the first mistake I would say, the first mistake that I see is don't try to put yourself on a time frame. I understand that you want to feel better before the baby gets here, but at the same time, if you're every day you are thinking about how you want to get better before the baby gets here, that's rumination, right? That's rumination. So that would be the first thing I say cut out. Don't go around thinking every day, I've got to get better before the baby gets here. I got to get better. That's tension, that's stress, that's rumination, that's worry. You're still trying to solve something. And as the point of the stream says, we're trying to get away from trying to solve things, because solving is ruminating. That's another word. If you guys are confused on what the word worry means or what the word rumination means, solving, right? So I would say cut that out, and I would say continue to learn the advice here one day at a time. That would be my advice to you, Jay. Or living in a better way than before, because my before involved a lot of worry. Yes, Mint, I agree. Let's see, Elliot. Let's see if I can find it. One of my problems is I catch myself caring a lot about how I feel all the time, but I notice that I'm doing that, and then I loosen my grip and just try to allow it. So by noticing that you catch yourself caring about how you feel, that's also the same as saying I notice that I ruminate a lot about how I feel, right? Because you can't possibly care about something so much if you're not doing any rumination, right? The two things cannot coexist. In order to care about something, you really got to be putting some thought into it. So what you're basically saying is I catch myself ruminating about the way that I feel quite a bit, and you try to catch that and turn that into acceptance and stop trying to solve. You hold yourself accountable for that, right? Don't put that pressure on yourself that you have to heal by August. Agreed. Yeah, my mind was going crazy sitting at home, so I came out shopping. Nice. What'd you get? What's for dinner? I'm starved. I'm starving. 30 viewers right now. Awesome stream today. Yeah. Normally not here on Sundays, but the plan was to go outside and continue to try to push mow my massive yard. Obviously couldn't do it all in one day, and I was like ready to go. I woke up, I got something to eat, started to head out to get the work done, and it's an absolute tsunami out there. And I was like, that's great. Got to the front door, totally in the mindset of ready to do yard work all day long, and was just met by the sight of an absolute hurricane. So I was like, well, wonderful, great, awesome, lovely. So all the preparation, I just turned around and came back in. Is that okay? Always checking on yourself. Trish. Thank you so much, Trish. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Show some love to Trish in the chat, guys. Get those purple hearts going. If you're new here, purple hearts represent love and gratitude to our tippers. Trish, with her tip note, says, you are awesome. No, you are awesome. Thank you for the support, Trish. We're on a 21-day streak. If you guys would like to support this random Sunday stream, link is in the description, or you can use the PayPal or Cash App. 20 of 50 on a 21-day streak. Show Trish some love with the 20 tip, man. That is a big tip. Thank you so much for that, Trish. Really appreciate it. Chicken broth for dinner with some crackers, right? Some crackers. Let's see. The hurricane's just an excuse. I'm just totally exhausted. I just tried to pour milk into my Coke can. I need to slow down. Building your first computer in your defense is extremely stressful sometimes. There's so many things that can go wrong that you have to problem solve. You're doing better than I did with my first computer. Mine wouldn't even come on the first time, and I had to redo a bunch of things, so you're doing better than I did. Thank you for all the purple hearts. Holy crap. Lauren, Crystal, DC, Mint, thank you for all the love for Trish today. Yes, thank you, Trish, for the $20 tip. I appreciate you. 21-day streak, guys. Thank you so much for that, Trish. Thank you. Dominique's singing the theme song there. Dollar is what I need. Yeah. I don't know how well milk and Coke would go together. I don't think that would taste too good. I mean, maybe you'll discover something, right? Like a hidden gem. Milk and Coke. No crackers for Jen. Jen can't have crackers. Crackers are the best. What do you mean, no crackers? What's going on? Oh, she's having a procedure done? Is that's what's happening? But yeah, Elliot, as I was saying, it's more than okay. I think you asked if that's okay. It's what you're supposed to be doing, holding yourself accountable like you said you're doing. Anytime you notice that you're trying to solve your thoughts and feelings, kind of bringing yourself back to reality, practicing not doing that and continuing living. So not only is it okay, it's recommended. That is the advice, right? Anticipatory, I think I said it. Anxiety. So any sort of anxiety, whether it's anxiety in the morning, some people say I have really bad morning anxiety. Some people say I have anxiety where I'm constantly worried about what's to come, or I've got this event coming up, or I've got this thing that I've got to get done. And no matter what kind of anxiety is, they're really my first piece of advice there would be there's no kinds of anxiety, right? Like I get it. people have this, or they have that, they have morning anxiety, or they have morning when they do this, or not morning, they have anxiety when they do this, or anxiety when they do that, and we put all these different labels on it, right? We put all these different labels and titles on it. There's no such thing as a kind of anxiety, right? So first of all, I would say drop the thinking that you suffer from a particular kind of anxiety. The root of all anxiety comes down to the fact that you are worried about your thoughts, feelings, and life situations, and that includes events that you have coming up that you're not now feeling anxious over because you're in your head trying to ruminate and go over every possibility of everything that could go wrong, right? So there's no really necessarily type of anxiety. It is all the same problem, which is the inability to leave your thoughts, feelings, and life situations alone. Instead, you want to ruminate over them, right? It is the same concept. So all the advice, for example, that we gave in this stream or any stream that we do would absolutely apply to you, which is you notice when you are up in your head trying to solve your thoughts, feelings, and life situations, and you refrain from doing that. You hold yourself accountable, which is going to take a lot of rinse and repeating. You got to catch when you're doing that, and you got to say to yourself, hey, I'm doing that obsession again, but I'm going to drop that. And then you get back into living, and then the thoughts and feelings come. You accept when they come, but the moment you notice that you start to ruminate, which is to try to solve, you hold yourself accountable, right? You hold yourself accountable for that. Okay, I didn't actually check that one. Yes. What if it is? I mean, I doubt it, but there's a possibility it's a loose cable. It's really unlikely. Morning is always bad for me. It is for a lot of people. It's very common. I don't know if you have an answer for this, but I'm pretty sure I have bipolar. I have appointments to see if I do on the 11th. How does that play into anxiety, keeping it alive, or does accepting still help? The reason I think I have it is because my mom does as well. Well, resistance to anything will always be, right? Resistance to anything will always be extremely harmful. Resistance to anything will not only be harmful, but it will be pointless, right? So let's say you are diagnosed bipolar. I'm sure there's steps you can take with your doctor to, whatever route you want to go down at that point is going to be between you and your doctor. So there's realistic steps that you can take, but to resist it and to fight with it and ruminate over it is not going to help your anxiety or your potential bipolar, right? It's going to make it worse. It makes everything worse. It makes the stress levels higher. It makes the anxiety worse. It makes your mental health and situation worse off, right? So yeah, I mean, whether you get diagnosed with this or that, any sort of negative rumination or problem solving is not going to help anything. Now, if it could solve it, if you could ruminate hard enough that you are no longer bipolar, I would say have at it. Right, and I'll cheer you on from the sideline. Unfortunately, you cannot ruminate hard enough to not be bipolar. You also cannot ruminate hard enough to change your life situations, believe it or not. You cannot ruminate hard enough to get rid of anxiety. It creates more. You cannot ruminate hard enough to change your future. You are powerless towards that, right? So, believe it or not, guys, believe it or not, this may come as a shock. You cannot think hard enough to control reality, right? If you have a habit of worrying, ruminating, overthinking, monitoring, then you definitely will benefit from a ton of learning to let go of those habits regardless of other factors. Love it, man. Absolutely. Remy, what's up? Today I was crazy spiraling and thinking I couldn't feel my feet, and now I'm just walking around SMH. So there you go. There you go. No, I checked all of them besides the one you asked about. And it turned out to be fine anyway, so I guess it is not a cable situation at the end of the day. About 98% recovered from DPDR, but I just can't stop watching recovery videos on it. I still feel something is off. How was recovery from DPR? Well, okay, the answer to that question, right? I'm about 98% recovered from DPDR. Just can't stop watching recovery videos on DPDR. I still feel something is off. Read the title of this stream and tell me if you're doing the right thing. That's not sarcasm. I actually want you to do that. Ooh, my headset's about to die. Where's my charger? Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, disaster averted. Still feeling something is off and I need to do something about it equals monitoring, problem solving, rumination. Man, you were killing it today with your comments. You know what I want to see? I want to see you take, because you've got the most clear understanding that I see right now. I want to see that applied to you. Yeah, panic itself can really pop up under any circumstance. It doesn't really need a cause or reason, especially when your nerves are already tired. But as long as you've got those core skills, right? That is funny, since we're on the topic for a second. There is some humor there. It's ironic. What I notice is and this is not just a Mint thing. This is like a pretty much everybody thing, at least at one point or another, right? Everybody's hits that point in their journey and their recovery where it's like they know exactly what needs to be done, and they can tell other people exactly what needs to be done all day long. But the habit is just so strong that they themselves have to work on it too, right? So it's like, and that happens. You see that all the time. It's just something I want you guys to be aware of. You guys are so full of knowledge, and you're so helpful, and you just make such awesome comments all the time. And it's like, I want you to apply that to your own journey, right? So just something to be aware of. Just something. It's not really minor. I was going to say something minor to be. It's actually pretty huge, but just something to be aware of. DPDR is like a fail-safe for your brain. It's actually very good that DPDR exists. It's very good that it exists. It's a fail-safe. It's basically your brain saying, look, I cannot perform at max performance because I'm tired from all of the absolute nonsense that you have put me through. Doesn't happen to everyone, but when it does happen, it is basically a fail-safe. I just attacked the entire chat. I just took shots at the entire fucking chat at that point. Yeah, with the best advice, they're still struggling. Yeah, and you know, that's true for a lot of people. It's not abnormal. It's not something, you know, shameful. It's just something to be aware of, because like I've said many times, I myself knew a lot of good advice for a very, very long time and wasn't using it. So it's not like I myself am any less guilty. I did that for a very long time. So, Sky, what's up, Sky? Welcome. Yeah, because I mean, there's a big difference, a huge difference, the difference maker between knowing this stuff and doing this stuff. So, like, if you're on the stream and you're helping people out, which is amazing and awesome, and you should be very proud of yourself for that. But if you say to somebody, for example, in the stream chat, hey, you know, that's rumination, and, you know, don't try to solve that thought and feeling, and, you know, live your life, but when you're tempted to ruminate and solve, you know, hold yourself accountable for that, bring yourself back, use that non-engagement voice, and, you know, hey, I'm noticing myself obsessing, not going to do that, and hold yourself accountable for your mental habits. You know, you tell somebody that, right, and you go into great detail on that. That is awesome. That is amazing. You are being very helpful, and I'm so thankful for you. But you turn the stream off, and then you go and ruminate. That hurts. How did you deal with this in high school? I dropped out. I dropped out. That's how I dealt with it. Yeah. So I was always a pretty anxious kid, regardless. I didn't hit my bouts of sensitization until later on in life. But yeah, that's how I dealt with it in high school. I dropped out. If it comes down to the thoughts when you're in a dark place, it gets scary as hell, and it's all like your knowledge goes out the window. And that's when the practice really, really comes in handy. That's when it's really time to do that work, right? Is there a cupcake with ice cream and cookies? I don't say or think I do. That would tear my stomach up, but it sounds delicious. Can't even enjoy a good rumination session anymore. Yeah, I mean, when you don't know any better, you don't know any better, right, Jay? When you don't know any better, you don't know any better. You question, is this how I really feel? Is this the anxiety talking? And that's the problem. That's where you're going wrong. You never question, is this how I really feel? Like, that's the rumination. You just chalk it up as you're no longer trying to solve anything that comes through the door, right? So I hope that helps, gamer. Glad you're enjoying the streams, Dominique. Is this Dominique as in the Captain A, Mr. Captain A? It is, right? When I started healing was when I realized healing isn't having anxiety anymore. It's about not fighting or caring if it's there. Nailed it. Nailed it. And that'll lead to your benefits, right? But we're not worried about the benefits. We're not worried about the benefits. That'll take care of itself. That'll take care of itself. I think most of us, unfortunately, just don't like the way we feel, right? Crave to have our old self skin. It's very hard to stay patient and accept. Yeah, and then you get into trying to do the impossible, which is to use your mind to solve your thoughts and feelings. Just makes it 100 times worse. So it's like you get to the point where you cave and go back to the bad habits in an attempt to solve your thoughts and feelings, which just makes it worse. And it's one big case of irony. One big case of irony. Like, so for example, right now, if you've got anxiety symptoms or intrusive thoughts, there's nothing you can do with your mind that's going to help that. What's going to help that is trying to do less with your mind. That's the irony. If you're dealing with a ton of intrusive thoughts and anxiety symptoms right now, the more you try to do something about that with your mind, the worse you're going to feel. If you really want to try to help that, stop trying to help that. Stop trying to do anything about that with your mind, because that's making it worse. And that's probably the simplest way that you can put that. Probably the simplest way that you can put that. We got about 10 minutes left, guys. About 10 minutes left. If you got any questions, man, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Stilettos with the $10 Cash App. Stilettos, thank you, thank you. That takes us to, let's see. Okay, there it is. Yeah, 30. We were at 20. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. I can do 20 plus 10, thank you. Stilettos, thank you for the $10 Cash App. I really appreciate you. Show some love in the chat. Guys, we are 20 away from our tip goal, but we've only got about 10 minutes left. 20 away from our tip goal, 21-day streak. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Was opinion on medication. I'm scared of medication. So I know you're new here. I can't really comment on medication because it's personal choice. I'm not a doctor, right? So I'm not a doctor or therapist. I can't recommend, go the medication route. Don't go the medication route. All I can say is that is completely your choice. And I hope you understand, you got to see it from my point of view. If I was to tell someone, yeah, you should get on this, and then that doesn't go well, that's my fault. Or if I should tell someone, yeah, don't get on this, and maybe they would have preferred to get on this, and that's my fault too. So I'm out of that one. I'm on the sidelines with that one. I'm recovering from being sick, and the mental fog from it has made me feel like my anxiety is temporarily gone, which it wouldn't come back. Yeah, some people say they feel better when they're sick. It's actually because they're not ruminating as much. And some people say it's worse because they're ruminating more. And a guana on ketamine. Interesting. It's wild how sometimes I think I'm healing and the bam, rug gets pulled out from under me, and that's happened so many times. I'm better and better as time goes on. Well, as far as the rug getting pulled out from under you, that is you still caring too much about the thoughts and feelings being there, right? I get it, no worries. Just wondered if you was on medication. I did not go the medication route. I was a pillophobe. I was very terrified of pills. So I'm sure that played a large part in why I didn't go the medication route. And that was just probably a, I don't know, irrational sort of thing, but I did not go that route. Rumination to me, what is up 101? Rumination to me is trying to find an answer when there is no clear answers. Right, exactly, nailed it, 100%. So stop ruminating, because when you have an answer, it is usually quick and clear, otherwise ruminating. So stop. I love it, absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Dominique, I'm going to pretend like I have any fucking clue what you're talking about. Oh, is Mint leaving? Good night, Mint. Good night. I must have missed that comment. Thank you guys for all the purple hearts. Yeah, show some love, guys, to Stilettos and Trish for getting us to 30 today on the tip goal. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the support, man. Thank you for showing some support to the Sunday stream. We don't often get to say that. We're never here on Sundays, but thank you for showing up and watching and supporting the Sunday stream. I took one pill and I was like, never again if I can help it. Yeah, it's personal choice. I mean, personal choice. Thanks, Steph, for the life of me to do whatever I can to heal. And the number one thing that you can do to heal, which living your life is amazing. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's part of the 2 keys. But one thing you got to be aware of, are you living your life and also trying to solve your thoughts and feelings? Because that is hugely, like massively, like big important. All right. It's very important. Let's see. 1 of 1. Thank you for the $10 tip, guys. We might actually do it. We're only 10 away from tip goal, but we're also near the end of our stream, so I'm not sure. 10 away from tip goal, guys. 21-day streak. Thank you so much, man. All the love and support. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. We will get back to the roof goal soon. I just wanted to give you guys some streams with topics. I did not want my channel to just be roof goal 24/7. That was not okay with me, so we'll get back to roof goal soon, but for now, just regular programming, okay? I don't want to do roof goal too long, too many days straight, but we'll get back to it eventually. We're doing great on that, by the way. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait until that's over. When my OCD wants to kick in, I don't let it bother me, but then I get that intense sneak punch and I catch myself ruminating about if I don't compulse, bad things will happen. I assume the response is still the same, right? It is. It absolutely is, Ambient. Just live your life as best you can, correct? Regardless, I've been making small progress, whether it be small. Hey, that is amazing. Progress is progress. Quote-unquote small progress adds up into big progress, but you're right. You're going to have thoughts that say, oh, if you don't do this, bad things are going to happen, and you don't ruminate. You don't try to solve that, right? You hold yourself accountable. Try my best, brother. Hey, it's a practice, dude, but you've come a lot further than you were at one point, and that is progress. Seen too many movies for hypnosis. Let's see. I play a lot of Tetris. I haven't played Tetris in forever. Big Patty Big, yes. Big Patty Big. As long as you guys are learning these core skills here, you can heal. I'll just put it to you like that. Whether you want to have personal discussions on things that you've done outside of the channel, that is up to you. But just so that nobody worries, oh God, now I need to do this, and now I know how sensitized people think, right? So just really quickly, I want to say, as long as you're learning the core skills here, and you can't afford this or can't afford that, you don't have to. Learn the core skills here, and you can heal in time. So just to make that very, very clear, very, very clear. Allow yourself to fall into whatever it is your anxiety or mind is throwing you. Well, don't fall into rumination. Don't fall into that. But do allow the thoughts and feelings, right? Do allow that. Yeah, allow the thoughts to come, allow the feelings to come, and hold yourself accountable to not try to solve them, which is like throwing yourself to the wolves, because it feels uncomfortable and dangerous to not solve them. But that's what needs to be done. We need to continue to cut the trying to solve and pass up that temptation. Pass up every single chance you get. Pass up that temptation. Playing Fortnite is my escape, LOL. And the crazy thing is, before anxiety, I hated that game. Now I love it. I've not played much Fortnite. I know you didn't mean it that way, gamer, but it's my job to make sure everybody keeps their heads screwed on straight, right? Rumination is like trying to desperately fathom an answer that you know deep down you have no answer for, but trying to justify that there is a concrete answer out there. Exactly. You're nailing it today. Still go outside if the symptom's heavy. I do complain, but I still be outside. Well, that's half of the steps, right? But you also want to make sure you hold yourself accountable for your mental actions. My therapist reminds me a lot that it's physically possible to change the channel in our brains, but anxiety is compelling, so we choose not to. It's tempting. It's just like my stream that says it's tempting, right? Compelling, tempting, same thing. So that's why you have to hold yourself so accountable. So, Rick, hey, Rick with the $10 takes us to our tip goal, man. Let's just see a big, giant wall of purple hearts, guys. We're on a 22-day streak. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Bye, Crystal. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I was thinking about this the other day. It's crazy to me that you guys have been so supportive on the roof goal, and you're also still supportive on the daily goal. Man, you guys are just awesome. I don't know what else to say besides that. You're not only supportive on the roof goal, you've been supportive on the daily tip goal. I mean, it's like it's not slowed down, and I really appreciate it, guys. I really do. Once that roof goal's over, we'll never have to do anything like that ever again. So I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You're awesome. You enable me to be able to do this full time. I have people ask me all the time, do you do this full time? Yes. Would I be able to do this full time if it wasn't for my community? No, that's just not realistic. I would have to do something else. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everybody else who watches the channels and streams and benefits from it appreciates you guys as supporters too, because you help keep, actually you don't help keep the show on the road. You keep the show on the road. So thank you guys for that. Really appreciate it. Oh no, we're about to hit an hour. Thank you guys. I'm trying to keep my streams under an hour. I think it's helping the algorithm. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the random Sunday stream. I feel like it was a good one. A lot of good questions today. So thank you for everything. Before you go, Wonder Bro, how do we get a one-on-one with you in the Discord? Can you touch on that? There is a coaching section in the Discord. Find that coaching session. If you can't find it, just type in any of the chats. We'll lead you in the right direction. Just say that you're interested. I'll get up with you. All right. So if you are interested in coaching, reach out. We'll do one-on-ones. I offer reoccurring. I only offer reoccurring sessions for people that are serious, right? For people that are serious, that are going to give me their time, work with me, and do what needs to be done, and keep our sessions together, show up to them. I only do reoccurring sessions for people who are serious, okay? So I will say that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. There's a podcast I like that calls The Tippers Today's Producers, and I love that. It's very true. It's very true. This is like a crowd-funded thing. Without you guys, it would be nothing. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Till next time, as always, stay awesome.